Hola, bienvenidos. I am Maestra teacher. This is my Spanish channel. If you are an English speaker or any person trying to learn Spanish as a second language, this is the channel for you, my friend. In today's lesson, we will be discussing all the vocabulary related to plants, or in Spanish, las plantas. There are over 320,000 species of plants in our planet. However, 90% of what humans eat actually comes from only 30 plants. About 80,000 of them are edible, and about 70,000 of them are used for medicinal purposes. So plants are extremely important, and nothing better than strolling on a sunny afternoon in a garden. I will remind you now that in my class, you will see a picture, you will read the word, and you must repeat. Look, listen, and repeat. The point of this video is that you practice your pronunciation in Spanish, because the more you practice, the better you become at being a Spanish speaker. A garden in Spanish, we call that el jardín. Say it. El jardín. And a gardener in Spanish, el jardinero if it's a man, or la jardinera if it's a woman. A botanical garden in Spanish, jardín botánico, with accent in A. Jardín botánico. The verb to plant in Spanish, we call that plantar o sembrar. Plantar, sembrar. A tree in Spanish, el árbol, with accent in A. El árbol. Trees have a trunk in Spanish, tronco. Tronco. It also has leaves in Spanish, hojas. Remember, it has an H, but the H is silent. Las hojas, like the H is not there. Okay, we also have flowers. A flower in Spanish, las flores. Las flores. Flowers have pollen in them. Pollen in Spanish, el polen. El polen. Flowers also have a stem. A stem in Spanish, el tallo. El tallo. Roots in Spanish, root, la raíz. La raíz. Soil in Spanish, the ground, the soil, we say la tierra. La tierra. Palm tree in Spanish, la palma. La palma. A forest in Spanish, el bosque. El bosque. Plants need sunlight. Sun in Spanish, el sol. El sol. And of course, they need water. Rain in Spanish, la lluvia. La lluvia. The lawn in Spanish, that we call different ways depending on the country. It could be césped, el césped. It could also be la grama, and it can also be called el SÁCATE. El césped, la grama, el SÁCATE. It all depends on the country that you visit. A prairie in Spanish, la pradera. La pradera. Seed in Spanish, la semilla. La semilla. A rake that you use to collect the leaves, rake in Spanish, el rastrillo. El rastrillo. And a hose or a water hose in Spanish, la manguera. La manguera. Greenhouse in Spanish, el invernadero. El invernadero. Harvest in Spanish, la cosecha. La cosecha. Plants go through the process of photosynthesis. In Spanish, photosynthesis, we say photosyntesis. It's basically the same, but you change it for the F. Photosynthesis. Vegetables in Spanish, we call that los vegetales. Los vegetales. Rose in Spanish, la rosa. La rosa. We also have a cactus in Spanish, el cactus. El cactus. A fern in Spanish, el helecho. El helecho. Daisies in Spanish, la margarita. La margarita. A sunflower in Spanish, sunflowers, el girasol. El girasol. A carnation in Spanish, el clavel. El clavel. Tulips in Spanish, a tulip, we call that el tulipán. El tulipán. A petal of a rose, petal in Spanish, el pétalo. El pétalo. An orchid in Spanish, la orquídea. La orquídea. In a flower bouquet in Spanish, el ramo de flores. El ramo de flores. Good job. A few other words related to gardening. We also have a shovel in Spanish, la pala. La pala. To bloom in Spanish means florecer. Florecer. A flower pot. A flower pot in Spanish, we call that el tiesto or la maceta. El tiesto, la maceta. Okay? The season of spring in Spanish, la primavera. La primavera. And also the action of watering your plants. In Spanish, we call that regar las plantas. Let's practice now some sentences that you can use to impress your friends and family when you show them the beautiful garden you've created. If you want to express that your flowers or roses bloom during spring, you would say, mis rosas florecen en la primavera. Mis rosas, my roses, florecen, bloom, in spring. Mis rosas florecen en la primavera. If you want to express which one is your favorite flower, you will say, mi flor favorita es la orquídea. Mi flor favorita es la orquídea. If you want to say that when you grow up, you want to be a gardener, you will say, yo quiero ser jardinera. Yo quiero ser jardinera. If you want to express the color of a flower, you will say, sunflowers are yellow. You can say, los girasoles son amarillos. Los girasoles son amarillos. And if you want to express that you're going to visit the botanical garden, you would say, voy a visitar el jardín botánico. Voy a visitar el jardín botánico. Good job. Thank you so much for practicing today's lesson. I hope you learned something about plants. Please like my video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment if you want to, and I'll see you in my next lesson. Hasta luego!